Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. Pakistan versus South Africa. The first test match continues and South Africa have been in a commanding position. Pakistan has been able to salvage momentum back to their side as well later on in the innings, but it was a day where we were expecting the first session to give results to Pakistan. That didn't happen. Aiden Markram and Temba Bavuma put up a very solid partnership that propelled South Africa to a score which Pakistan wasn't expecting probably, and Pakistan did think, and we also thought that the wicket's going to get a bit quicker and we're probably going to take a few wickets, but that didn't happen. I found it to be, a touch slow. And then of course we discussed this before as well on various platforms that the only way to score runs on this ground is to play your shots and get your boundaries, and that's what kept on happening. But Pakistan of course couldn't manage to contain those boundaries, couldn't put a fielder every now and then, and Markram kept on wonderfully batting as well. But then again later on, like I said, the partnership was broken. Amir Jamal taken, Temba Bavuma caught by Rizwan, and of course we had a good partnership once again, but Pakistan kept on taking wickets. So we'll tell you all the details, give you live updates as well, because South Africa have managed to do pretty well against a Pakistani bowling attack, which everybody said is going to be real havoc for their inexperienced batting lineup, but that didn't probably happen. So we talk about that. Then of course we move on and we discuss the Border Gavaskar Trophy in detail as well. And India, I must say, this is a test match that has got a lot of eyes now, and especially for the fact that there's a lot to play for. It hasn't just only been about Constas as well, but the way we've seen performances from the Indian side as well, it has been a bit tricky for the Australian bowlers. But every now and then Virat Kohli, I probably thought this is going to be the comeback innings that he wanted, but Boland once again getting the better of him. We'll talk all about that, give you the latest updates. Then of course we move on to a very ugly incident where Virat Kohli and Constas of course collided, and that has had all eyes. A decision has been finally taken by the match referee and the panel as well, where Virat Kohli has been fined and he has been proven guilty on this account as well. It just leaves a bad taste, and I think even Indian cricketers have mentioned that you can do the verbal talking that you want, but you just can't do this. To a 19-year-old chap, it speaks volumes of the frustration that Virat Kohli probably is carrying, and the Indian team at the moment seems to be down and out. So we talk about that in detail as well and give you the entire insight into what the incident was and how it unfolded. Then of course we move on and we discuss the Champions Trophy schedule with you in detail as well. It's finally out now. Rawalpindi, Karachi, Lahore and Dubai, 4 venues of course, but 3 venues in Pakistan have been maintained, and it's going to be very, very exciting. Pakistan start the Champions Trophy as defending champions with the first fixture of the tournament on the 19th of February at the National Bank Cricket Arena in Karachi when they face New Zealand, and it's going to be very exciting for Pakistan's case as well. So we'll discuss all the details there as well. Time now to introduce the guests. First of all, in studios we've been joined by senior sports journalist and expert Abdul Jabbar Faisal. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum salam. Have a nice day, viewer.
Thank you very much for joining us. We've also been joined by sports expert Danial Khalik. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Danial?
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And we've also been joined by first-class cricketer and expert Kashif Majid. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam, Ahmed. Perfectly all right.
Thank you for joining us. Now let's take a look at this report, Pakistan versus South Africa, and then we continue.
The Proteas Pacers dominated Pakistan's batting lineup, dismissing them for just 211 runs in the first innings on the opening day of the first cricket test at Centurion. Dane Patterson was the standout bowler, claiming 5-wicket haul, while Corbin Bosch contributed with 4 wickets. Marco Jansen sealed the innings with a final dismissal. Pakistan's top order collapsed early, with opener Saim Ayub falling for 14. Babar Azam dismissed for just 4 runs. Shan Masood at 17 and Saud Shakil at 14 also failed to make an impact. The only resistance came from Kamran Ghulam, who top-scored with 54 runs before batting order fell apart further. Mohammad Rizwan made 27, Salman Ali Agha added 18 and Amir Jamal 28 runs. All got starts but could not capitalize. After a duck from Naseem Shah, Khurram Shahzad and Mohammad Abbas fought hard, putting together a valuable partnership that helped Pakistan reach 200-run mark. However, Jansen broke the stand by dismissing Khurram, bringing an end to Pakistan's innings.
There you have it in this report. Sabah, of course, gives us the details that we were looking forward to as well. It's been a very exciting day of cricket once again, but Corbin Bosch at the moment just seems to be too good. What a dream debut. You just come out there, bowl, get your first wicket on the very first delivery, and then you continue. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now 60 plus runs with the bat. Surely someone who is giving us a run. And I think the commentators were very pertinent as well, that Pakistani bowlers seem to be running out of gas, and that's what was a bit adamant as well. Jabbar Faisal, how would you highlight the proceeding? It's been a very difficult day for Pakistan, this one.
Definitely, if you will play the irresponsibility, you will face such type of problems. But I will start my conversation with the dismissal of Kamran Ghulam. That unnecessary stroke pushed Pakistan back. He got a chance before 50, he reached the 50, he played unnecessary stroke, never been in a test match. I think after completing 50, he was willing to show his confidence, but it was not a good sign. Rather than other already top order batsman has been flopped, and he should be in show responsibility at this stage. And next day, Pakistan took wickets with the short times, and one time when was 184 for 5. It's looking there will be maybe 220 to 230, and they can pack South African. But unfortunately, Carbon, who was playing first test match, he bowled well and he batted well.
Absolutely.
And
once again, we keep the history of giving dream debuts to the opposition.
No, one who played a little bit aggressive, he was succeeded, and he kept the same thing in the test match too. And it is good sign for the South Africa and what he will do in the future. But on this was a difficult pitch, not an easy. And Pakistan at the 11th change Nouman Ali to Jamal. This was showing that captain read the pitch and made the change.
Absolutely. At the very last moment this happened. But then again, Jawahar, you still had 4 fast bowlers. Abbas, Khurram Shahzad, Amir Jamal and Naseem Shah. But at times, apart from Amir Jamal, who was, still trying very, very hard to bang in the ball and, get those short ones every now and then, the rest, it seems to be that they were very tired today because of the partnership that was there in the initial phase.
Actually, according to demand of a test match, they bowled well. No doubt, we can't criticize them. Naseem Shah got 3 wickets. Khurram Shahzad gave you breakthrough in the very early of the innings. And also Abbas got a wicket. Other guy, Amir Jamal got 2 wickets. Yes. Our batting was good. You can't criticize them. But our expectation were to post a good total on the scoreboard. Likely, if batsman showed some responsibility, score maybe go around 300. But our batting is, again, crawling, you can say. And
as always, I think forever we've discussed the fact that it's always been about the batting. The bowlers would be put into, the run for their lives, but it's always been about the batting. But how would you highlight the proceedings so far, Danial? And like I said, they had their work cut out, the bowlers. They've still managed to take wickets. South Africa, of course, 9 down. This last partnership is still hurting us. They've got a lead of above 60 runs. How have you seen it unfold?
So I think day one can be summarized in one way. It's the dismissals of Shan Masood and Babar Azam, 2 sides of the same coin. So one is out trying to play a flashy, aggressive shot, which screams of his own insecurities about his own place in the side. The reality is we're playing 7 batsmen because Shan is not considered to be one of them. We're playing 6 batsmen, 4 bowlers. That's taking up a spot. Therefore, we're not playing 5 bowlers. The other was the other side of the coin, which is Babar, who's having the worst year of his career, in test matches at least. And he's out completely tentative and underconfident almost. So both of them are sort of overcompensating for perceived weaknesses. They're both clearly under severe psychological pressure. And I think that's one thing which we need to try and address going forward. How we do that, you have to create greater stability within the board, within the team management and structure around it. Shan was clearly more comfortable with Jason Gillespie, and we've got rid of Jason Gillespie. We don't know what's going to happen next, but it seems very much like right now, Shan is going to go into the 10th test match with 8 losses and 2 wins at the end of this series. I think it's very difficult to see Pakistan winning this match. I think it's very difficult to see us winning the next one, which would make him the least successful Pakistani captain of a test side with a minimum cutoff of 10 test matches. Now you compare that with Babar Azam, and there's a lot we say about Babar Azam's captaincy, but Babar's win stats as test match captain, so he's played 20 matches as captain, he's had 6 losses, 10 wins and 4 draws. At the same time, he averaged 51 at the time. Shan averages 33. So
if such a scenario does unfold, Daniel, then one must ask this question, that Shan's place in the test side would be at jeopardy as well, not just the captaincy then.
Look, I think Shan's place in the test side has never been deserved. There's nothing that he's done other than having a very fine cricketing brain, which I think we can all agree he's a very smart player. The issue is that there's a limitation that comes in once you move from domestic to international cricket, and he's been around for more than 10 years now. He should have been able to display that or demonstrate that at some point. He hasn't been able to do so. The other thing I think we can consider is also just the structure of our batting order. So we were discussing this offline before we started. Kamran Ghulam should probably have been at number 3. Babar needs to be at number 4. Babar averages 52 at number 4. He averages 28 at number 3. I don't know why you would move your best batsman to a place where he's less comfortable. You need 2 proper test openers. That's something that we are clearly missing right now. You've got Saim Ayub in a position which he really should not be playing in. He is a limited overs opener. You cannot force him to become your next David Warner. David Warner is a once-in-a-generation player. Forcing someone into that role doesn't make any sense.
Well, certainly, and I think this team right now really needs that momentum. It needs somebody to stand up the way Kamran Ghulam was looking to stand up. But then eventually, I think the only highlight of that innings would just be his conversation with the South African wicketkeeper. That went absolutely absurd. But it's been still a difficult day. Kashif has still got eyes on it as well. So Kashif, this seems to be, you know, a test match made for Corbin Bosch only.
I guess it's a dream debut. Started off well, and with the 4-4, I guess, and a 60-odd run, most probably all-rounder in the making. I've just gone through his inning, watching very closely. He has got all the abilities of playing strokes all around the wicket, and it's important that he stays on this track for him. Talking about Pakistani bowling, I still believe we either bowl very short or we either bowl very full. Finding a suitable length on this track is utmost important, and we couldn't just manage that, because just going through the wagon wheel of the batsman, you find majority of the runs scored square of the wicket, either through the pull shot, most probably through the cut shot, and a few through the pull shot. And the second important thing, the second shot important played was in between the V area, we used to say mid on, mid off. So nothing in the covers, nothing towards the mid wicket. So this is where the length ball pitches, and when we talk about batsmen going for the drives, that this is at times a success for the bowlers in the test arena, and we couldn't find that length. So it's just the first innings after so many so many months, I guess, in the test arena, and Abbas was a little unfortunate in the start. He just couldn't find his length. So does Naseem Shah. Khurram started off well, but it's just one end holding off for Pakistan, and nothing. The second end was just not there for Pakistan in the bowling. As far as the batting concerned, we talked about it yesterday. The pitch was up and down. It's just not the lateral movement of the seam. It was an up and down wicket, and most probably I still believe we could have scored 250, but 211 was a good score. You just minus out that 10th and the 11th wicket partnership from the South African innings, and you find that both teams are equally played well, and they were scored identical runs most probably. But this Corbin Bosch innings and the partnership with KG Rabada and now with Patterson, that is actually hurting Pakistan a lot. Otherwise, most probably it's a 50-50 match still.
But still, Kashif, I think it's been a difficult day as well, because what we expected, the pitch became, not that quick, but it became a sort of pitch. And I saw a very different Aiden Markram. He was trying to play the ball as late as he could. He wasn't flashing outside. A couple of edges did go, but to his credit, he was playing the back foot punch. The weight was on the back foot as well. How do you analyze Markram's innings? Because that, I think, is a real taste of what the Pakistani batters should have done in the first innings as well.
I guess he knows the condition, Ahmed. He can wait on the back foot, we talked about it yesterday that this is not a flyer of a wicket. The ball is just not carrying to the keeper. Odd ones do bounce a lot, or they can quicken up after pitching. But it's a sort of wicket where you bang in shot, and on the way to the keeper, the ball just died out. And most probably he's collecting the ball knee height or even ankle height, the short pitch stuff. So Aiden Markram knows this wicket, and he tends to stay on the back foot, weighted the ball and punches towards the covers and towards the point region. This is where I think we, as a bowling unit, just lost the plot that we wanted him to drive the ball most probably straight down the wicket, most probably towards the covers, and just not the cut and the pull shot. So yes, credit to Aiden Markram, the way he analyzed the wicket, but simultaneously our bowlers was just not there. And it's just not easy going into Centurion or any part of the world and finding the right length at the very first moment or very first instance. Bowlers used to struggle a bit to finding good length. Most probably the second innings when Pakistan will be bowling will be an entirely different ball game. And right now the damage was done by Corbin Bosch. I think as I said, when we talk about our bowling versus their batting, it's Aiden Markram's innings and nothing else. And right now the Corbin Bosch inning is just hurting Pakistan. These crucial runs are very important. And as you mentioned, the pitch is slowed down a bit. Pitch is now, we cannot see a perfect batting shape, but it's towards batters friendly more than the bowlers friendly.
Well, certainly, but you know, if I look at this is right now the first instance where Pakistan has tried something different. They've given over to Saim Ayub. You know, other than that, we've not seen anything out of the extraordinary. Something that will just give a bit of difference to the match itself. So they've probably stuck with their stereotypical plan and they've gone at it as well. But so far, 300 pretty much is on for South Africa at the moment. They're 281 for 9. They lead by 70 runs, and I think it's going to be a very difficult position for Pakistan to get back into the test match. Courtesy, their batters do a fantastic job at a great run rate, and then they have anything to bowl at. That probably makes sense as well. That being said, of course, we have more to discuss from Test cricket. And of course, we're going to be discussing the Border Gavaskar Trophy as well, where it's been a very, very, I think, difficult day for certain individuals in the Indian team as well. But then again, it's got all eyes at the moment through the entire world. It's not just been about, I think after that first Test match, Australia finally woke up and realized we're Australia. But after that, it's just gotten media savvy day by day. So that has been very, very interesting. But on that note, let's just take a look at the remaining Australian wickets that fell, and then we continue.
Well named too.
Bumrah bowling. In a hurry now, Cummins. Taken. Well done, Nitish Reddy. Pat Cummins departs on 49. India get their 7th.
Well, they needed that. Bowled. Straight through. They've been past the outside edge. Jadeja. He gets another. And takes it on. And onto the stumps. But the bails have fallen off, have they? They have. You cannot believe it's Steve Smith. It was an agonising watch. The ball just trickled back.
But a brilliant innings from Steve.
Big shout and given this time. Nathan Ryan, he walks but he reviews. So 474, Australia dismissed in their first innings.
And there you have it, all the wickets that fell for Australia. And like I said, it's been a difficult test match for their bowlers as well, apart from Jasprit Bumrah. And Jabbar Faisal, Bumrah has just been exceptional this series. But we'll talk all about that and more right after this short break. Stay tuned. Right, so of course Jasprit Bumrah has been brilliant throughout this series, and I must say, Jabbar Faisal, that looks to be the only silver lining for India at the moment in their bowling attack.
I think the second day was bad for India when the opener Jaiswal got run out. He was playing very, very good innings, and rest of low-order were not playing good, but his personal innings was excellent, brilliant. He got run out. Kohli added just, I think, 43 or 47 runs, and actually the highest, over 400 That was important. That thing brought Indian under pressure. And there was Waterloo's Stephen Smith, who was at the starting, he was just leg spin bowler. He came better and irresponsible. He played a lot of innings, winning innings. And yesterday he played excellent innings and played a vital role to pile up a reasonable total.
Absolutely.
But it is Indian unfortunate. Men batter are not doing thing. All are depending on Virat Kohli, Rahul, and Captain
Rohit
Sharma, but they are not performing according to the expectation of Indian spectators. But overall, they have still chances. 185 for 5, but rest of tailenders, they will play like previously they were playing aggressive and put some total, but they are still in a hot water.
Absolutely.
And it is difficult to survive for them.
Absolutely, and I think it's been very difficult after that first Test match as well. But let's take a look at some of the wickets that fell for India, and then we continue the discussion as well.
Takes it on, settling underneath it is Boland, and the captain gets the captain. Scott Boland takes the easiest of catches. The shuffling of the deck hasn't worked in India's favour.
Oh, not to more, what a ball! It's the angle. It looks like it's coming in and just leaves him. It's a brilliant ball.
Oh, mix up, trouble at the keeper's end. Alex Carey takes the bails off. It's disaster for India. Ecstasy for Australia. Jaiswal cannot believe it. Poised test tomorrow. Is noise on there. They're celebrating Australia. Kohli's going nowhere. And given now, Michael Goff just wanted to check if it's carried. It's back-to-back blows for India. Catch, it is taken. Big inside edge onto Thigart. Boland does it again. He owns this venue.
Well, there you have it. It's been a difficult day, although I think Jaiswal was going brilliantly, but that run out certainly changed the tide as well. Daniel, how would you highlight the end of the day's proceedings?
Well, I think it's very clear that the Kohli wicket led to the others collapsing. I think the field's set for Scott Boland. He's a Victoria resident. The MCG is his home ground. And with the injury that got him into the side, I think it was clear that the narrative was building. In cricket, we have these wonderful stories. You know, the guy on debut comes in and takes a wicket with his first ball. The guy playing his 100th Test match will go on and score a century. Scott Boland is playing in his home ground, Boxing Day Test. He's going to take 5-4. It seems written in the stars right now. I think the Indian team is getting distracted by all the off-field sort of nonsense. It's clear you've had Virat Kohli get into mix-up with journalists at the airport.
Scuffles with the media. Yes.
Scuffles with the media. Then people have been following him around on the streets of Melbourne. And then with his run-in to Constas, I mean, that was just, I'm literally speechless. It's shocking.
And the run out with Jaiswal probably added to that misery as well.
Yeah, and I think it's just one of those things. Their minds are clearly not on the game at present. They've got a lot that they're focused on outside of the game. And that's not how you should play the match.
Certainly, and I think it's just been far more difficult than what they expected. And with Gautam Gambhir in that dressing room, it's bound to get even more aggressive as well. But
there was,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. There was one more thing. I don't know if you noticed, but when Kohli got out, when he was walking off the pitch, the fans in the MCG were
they
booing
booed him off. Yes.
Now the MCG is one of the most grand cauldrons. It's like a gladiator theatre. When the crowd boos you there, you're going to feel it in your bones.
You're literally booed.
Exactly.
So I think they even gave him a send-off when he was walking through the stairs player area as well, and he had to stand back. He actually came back and then uttered some words as well. But Kashif, like I said, it's just been very, very frustrating for Virat Kohli, and at a point now where it's come to be very, very aggressive as well. How do you foresee all that is happening, and what's going to be next for India at the moment?
Okay, the Kohli saga, you can say it. It came to highlight when he just pushed Constas. Previously, he was just there He was just there fighting with his own countrymen. Rather it's a media guy, rather it's the board or all those guys who are asking him to step down or just just retire from the test arena. But when he just pushed Constas, I think he asked another country, another nation to be against him, and this is what happened when caliber of Kohli just do this silly mistakes against a 19-year-old kid. And mostly it's Kohli's decision. No one asked him. Most probably, no one asked him to do this. Second important thing, the matter he got out is actually quite identical. It's just not about getting out LBW or bold. It's always a caught behind, whether in the slips or the keeper. And then there is a drive when he was scoring, when he was on 8, and he just played a wonderful cover drive. But going through those Roger Federer's ceremonial speech, he says he just simply said it's just another drive for 4 runs, and that is it. You want to glamorize it, you want to come up with any notion of English grammar to it. It's just 4 runs, and that is it. The most important thing for any batter is to follow the footsteps of Sachin, the way he scored 240 when not out in Sydney. Just go through and play your on-stride strokes, and
But
this is
just
it.
to add to your argument, it's a very personal opinion. I think the world has now moved on from the glamorous cover drives to the obnoxious third man six now. I think it's come to a point where we've stopped falling in love with typical cover drives, and we're always looking for somebody to just scoop you over third man or fine leg for a 6. That's what it's come at. But considering the instance with Constas, take a look at what happened, and then I'll ask Kashif to obviously narrate that as well.
Indian batter Virat Kohli has been fined 20% of his match fee and handed 1 demerit point for his shoulder bump to Australian debutant Sam Constas during his opening session of Melbourne Test. Kohli made physical contact with Constas in front of a packed crowd of 90,000. Both players immediately looked back for a heated exchange of words before Constas' opening partner Usman Khwaja and umpire Michael Goh interrupted to cut the altercation short. Former Australian captain Ricky Ponting also criticised Kohli's actions, calling them deliberate. Even former Indian coach Ravi Shastri expressed disappointment and labelled the act as unnecessary.
Well, there you have it. Kashif, anytime you've bumped into a 19-year-old on the field and it's turned out to be a very ugly incident for the media.
He was fighting a bowler's war for them. Actually, he's not the guy who was toyed by the Constas. It's the bowlers, the Bumrah and all those guys. And I still believe it was undue from Kohli. The man of his stature, the man of his class. It's just the pressure of the situation most probably. And he just wanted him off track because he was just toying at that moment. And he was toying with the most successful bowler of their generation, that is Jasprit Bumrah, scoring, I think, 19 runs in an over and hitting 2 sixes after, I think, 4,000 balls. He got hit for a 6 in a test match.
But after that incident, he hit 18 to Bumrah. So, it didn't go in their favour anyway.
So, Constas just, so naive and so beautifully. This is what the age tells us, that a 19-year-old guy has nothing to lose, and he was just there enjoying his cricket. And he was playing in the V. Either it's down the ground or it's backside.
That's an interesting choice as well. The back V these days seems to be the new front V. So that's the way things are going. But I think all in all, it's been a great series so far. I've just loved every bit of Australians realizing that they're the mighty Australia. They always need a rude awakening, I think, and that's what they got after the first test match. Obviously, with the days to come, it's probably going to be almost a deciding notion with 1 test match to go after this, but psychological advantage is going to stay there. That being said, the Champions Trophy schedule is out as well. Let's take a look at this report.
The International Cricket Council announced the 8-team ICC Champions Trophy 2025 schedule to be hosted by Pakistan from 19th February to 10th March. The matches will be played at the 3 venues of Pakistan, Rawalpindi, Karachi, while at least 4 matches will be hosted by Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Karachi's National Bank Stadium and Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium will host 3 group matches each, while Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium will host a minimum of 4 matches. All matches will begin at 2 p.m. local time. The tournament will kick off with a Group A fixture involving defending champions Pakistan and New Zealand at the National Bank Stadium on 19th February. The second group match of Pakistan will be against India at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium on Sunday, 23rd February. The host will play their third and final group match at the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium against Bangladesh on 27th February. Afghanistan, Australia, England and South Africa are placed in Group B. The top two sides from each group will play the semi-finals, with the first semi-final scheduled at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium on 4th March. The second semi-final will be staged at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore on 5th March. Both the semi-finals have been allotted reverse days as well. The final of the event is scheduled on Sunday, 9th March,